Welcome guys, this is the third tutorial for the expert series for Python programmers. So in this series, in this tutorial, we're going to study about the meta class and basically how can we use the meta class. So before starting that meta class, I want to tell you something about the meta class itself. So basically, in my previous video you must have seen I declare a program which something goes like this. If I show the class maker, if I make a function of class maker like this, and then inside that class maker function, let me just define a class named foo and just let me pass it. And now if return my class itself, which is foo. Okay, so now we can just also basically we just define that we can make a class using the variables like this, and we can do like this class maker, and now CLS is my class instance. So using that class instance, I can just basically print my CLS. If I do like this and I open my terminal window like this. Okay, so it's called like Python expert. If I run this, yes, you can see that there's a main class maker, and there are some local class as foo. But notice here guys that it is saying that my class foo is an object. Yes, it's true basically. So in Python, basically the classes are can be initiated and can be used as object. Okay, so basically you can basically interact and modify and store all the things in your class when you use it as an object at the runtime. Okay, so now guys, you must say that the classes, I mean, they aren't the object itself. Yes, it's true that classes are object, and but also it doesn't mean that it is not it doesn't mean it is a non object itself. Let's and for proving that, we have the meta class. So what does a meta class does? So meta class basically, it basically it basically defines the rules and the behavior of the class. So if you talk about the meta class, if just let me just remove this my function, and now you can see for my class foo, there must be a meta class which must be going at the back of the program, and the meta class basically it defines the behavior and the set of rules for the classes, like for how many objects, like what type of attributes and what type of bases or we can use in the class. Okay, so now if we talk about let's move further in the meta class. Yes, now if you just basically define some variable over here and just check their type over here of, let's say, x, and if I go in my terminal window, okay, interaction unexpected indent, okay, it's showing me unexpected indent because of this. If I save it, let me just run it, and yes, you can see that the type of my object, the type of this variable x is int. And following more, let me just create a new class over here. Let me just create a class named foo. Okay, foo, and now just let me pass all the instances over here, and let me just print my class type of the class instance, which is foo. And if I run it, yes, you can see that the type of my foo is a class. Okay, it is a main and it is a class. The type of it is a main. And now if I print the type of my foo only, and you can see, okay, unexpected line index type foo. Okay, yes, I must be right over here, and you can see that the type of my class foo is type. So this is what is a meta class. So this type basically it is the meta class, and it is the set of it is the class in which defines the set of rules and behavior for a class. So let me just show you one more thing, that how can you basically create a class similar like this. So okay, so let me just create a new variable class foo, and now let me just define my meta class, which is a type. And now there are basically three parameters over here essentially required, not essentially, but yes, three parameters you can basically define over here. The first parameter is the name of the class, which is foo. And now the second parameter is the basis means something, another class which you are inheriting inside your class which you're defining over here. And the third attribute, and the third attributes is the attribute or the attributes or the methods. So basically in this parameter you have to just define, let's say that whether there is any attribute present over in this class foo, or any methods present over here. So for now we should leave it as null. And now this basically is equivalent to this one. So you can create a class like this. Just using the statements like this. So for checking it, let me just make the instance of my class, which is cls.foo. And now if I just print my cls, let me just clear this out. And now if I go in this, yes, you can see that the foo is an object, and which has been created at the memory address of this. Let me just clear this out, and yes, print it again. Yes, you can see that the object has been created. So the type basically it is how you can create your meta class. Basically not a meta class, basically it is a meta class, it is the name of the meta class. And by using this type meta class you can create a class. And now let me just basically create a whole new class which will be used as a meta class for another class. So you'll be getting what I meant to say. Let me create my class known as meta, and inside that I'll be just inheriting my type, this type meta class name. Okay, so now let me just create a new, this is known as the dunder method. So new dunder method. So the parameters will be, I'll just basically okay, so the new let me just tell you what's the use of the new dunder method. So okay, so new dunder method is basically called before the init or the constructor method, and basically you can change the by using the new dunder method you can change the whole construction pattern of the object or a class. Okay, so and the parameters will be the self, and let me just class name, which I defined over in my type one, and class name, and then basis means any other classes which are inherited, and the attributes present over here. So now before I'll just print like this, I'll just print my attributes, and now I'll just return the class or the class type, the type using the type method. I'll just basically return my whole new class, which will be the class name and the bases, and then the attributes. So here, this one, guys, this is how you can create a whole new meta class by inheriting this type method, which was used to create the class. And this type, basically, it is used to basically create the whole new basically it is only the basically it was the backend meta class for any class, but now we are basically adding some more functionalities in the meta class. And for that, for adding those new functionalities, we have to just in basically define the parameter, inherit the old meta class. So now let me just create a new class which will be known as the dog. And now and now in the meta, I'll just basically define what's the name of my meta class, and it is meta. And now I'll just basically define some parameters over here. X is equals to 8, y is equals and y is equals to 10. Okay, and now if I print this, t is equals to dog, and now if I print this, let me just clear this out. You can see, yes, you can see that basically this is all my parameter, this is all my attributes, like what are the module name, and this is how you can return the whole basically class name. The class name is dog, and the bases are, there's no bases present over here, so we are just only returning the attributes, which is x and 8. And now, and here for printing this d, the class instance, we are just basically showing that the class defined over here is an object of this meta class. Okay, so this is how you can create your meta class and use it in another class, and use it for a class, and now let me just create a new function over here, or a new method over here. I'll just say def hello, and the parameters would be obviously self. Okay, it's not slef, it's self. And now I'll just basically print the value, which will be hey. And now let me just print this t dot hello, not hello, it's hello. Okay, t dot hello. Yes, now basically it's not like this, like this. Oh, sorry, it is a method, so I've just basically called like this. Okay, so now you can see that now you can see that this why he has been printed over here. If I call this dog hello, and now in this type, when I was returning this type, you can see that a new attribute has been added, which goes like hello, and the attributes value is basically defining that it is a function inside a class dog. Okay, so this is how you can create a new function, or a new method, inside the class. That must be all very familiar to you. And now let me just basically do some do some validation check over here. Let's say that I want to convert this this dog name, the class name of as which is over here dog, and x, and all the attributes as in capital letters. All should be in capital letters. So for doing that, basically I can define a set of rules inside my meta class, which will be basically then checking the for the class in which we are using it. So, and for doing that, it's very simple. We have to just basically define a new dictionary over here. Why we are defining a new dictionary? Because you can see that here it is a dictionary. This is a dictionary, so for using it we have to just define a dictionary. 2. Okay, so now I'll just basically use a for loop for all the key and values in present inside the dictionary. So I'll say for name comma value in attributes dot items. Okay, attribute dot item. Okay, so this attribute means this, which is this part, and now I'm just basically looping for all the attributes, sorry, for the items present in these attributes. And after that, if I say that, I'll just basically use an if loop. I'll say that if so I'll just say if name dot starts with, if it starts with like this, using that, let's say that it is a dunder method, so we won't so basically we'll just change the dunder method's value, like the value, we won't changing the dunder method's value, we have to just change the attributes value. So okay, like x, y, and all the functions value. So I'll just say that a, and I'll access the name, the first name, which is like this, and else it'll just basically the same thing. We won't be changing anything if it is a dunder method. Else, if it is not a dunder method, so it must be some variables or the variables or some kind of functions other than the dunder method. So what I'll do is I'll just basically access the a of name, sorry, I'll just basically access it, and I'll choose to convert all of its alphabet into uppercase, and I'll just say is equals to value. Okay, so now if I print the value for my a, and I've returned this thing. Okay, I will return this thing, and let me just define it over here a, because I have changed the attributes dictionary to a. And now if I call this, let me just first of all clear the screen, and I'll have to call this. Okay, ticked object has no attribute items. Okay, so it should be items, not item. In module, dog object has no hello. Okay. So the error is showing here because first of all, the meta class will run inside the class, this dog, and now it has changed the value for this hello one. So I have to just this name, sorry, not the value, but it has converted the hello function into an uppercase. So I have to just define like this hello, and if I print it, you can see that before it was something like this, and after returning my this parameter over here, if I print this attributes, the initial attributes, it was something like this. The all the things were in small letters, and now if I when I successfully converted it into an uppercase, then you can see that all my variables x, y, and hello, they have been successfully converted into an uppercase. So that's how you can use the meta class for basically converting the it is an example that how you can use a meta class for converting basically the name of the methods other than the dunder methods into, you can say, the capital letters or anything you want. So like this, you can basically use some more validation methods for basically defining that what set of methods or what set of values or attributes should be allowed in the class. So let's say that I don't want the program sorry I don't want anyone to basically to write initialize this x variable. So I'll just check if there in attributes in items column, I'll just check if there is an x variable present over in this dog class. Then I would just throw an exception error that this variable is not allowed. Okay, so that's how you can access it. So let me just show you some more some error, like let's say that print t dot x. So if I try to print this, then it will show me an obvious error that dog object has no attribute x, that because my meta class has converted this x attribute into the small x attribute into an uppercase attribute. So if I just do this, which is all obviously similar to this hello method. So if I run again, yes, you can see that my x value, the capital X value, has been printed, which is 8. So that's how you can use the meta class inside another class for defining a set of rules and the behaviors for your class. So that this is basically a very meta class is basically a very complex topics, and it is recommended to only used by the experts. If you basically become so much familiar to Python language that you can do almost and that you can change almost anything you want in your program according to your needs, or inside the class you can change it. So only then you may access this meta class. And if you are not familiar with all the concepts before of the meta class, then there must be a very complex problem in front of you if you access the meta class. So that's how you can use the meta class. So if you like this video, please do subscribe the Core Initiative channel and my Python for Intermediate series playlist. I'll be giving the link in the description below. And if you like this video, then please do subscribe the channel, Core Initiatives, like this video, and then share with your coding friends. Till then, goodbye, take care, and keep coding.